Yeah, man. I'm recording right now.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm just going to do the test. Not sure we'll do anything with it there, but,
Oh, yeah. So
So,
it was kind of hilarious in court the other day, though. Holy shit. But hey, I got to wear my cap in court. I had to put a stop to a thief from stealing it, though. I think didn't they call it an assault of a peace officer or a sheriff or something?
Yeah, they called it assaulting a peace officer, and I looked at him and said defense of trespass. Section 176 of the Criminal Code, interfering in a civil process with a minister. The fucking sheriff yelled for the RCMP. The RCMP came into the room. I repeated the phrase. The RCMP said, "You're on your own," and shut the door.
But I now get to wear my hat in court. Now, geez, what pissed me off is they took roughly 7 to 10 grams of medicine from me, accused me of presenting a forged document, my prescription. Meanwhile, other members of the Combined Drug Task Force team are trafficking narcotics out in the hallway.
Huh. Yeah, well, okay. You're getting ahead of everything. Well, okay, while I got you on here, let's talk about what's been going on. I mean, you've been waiting for, what are you being charged with? Give everybody like a little lowdown here.
Well, I'm not supposed to say what happened in court.
You can talk about what happened in court, but don't talk about what.
Well, before court, why are you even in court?
Well, there could be a couple schools of thought in that one. Personally, I think it has to do with a civil suit I got filed for wrongful conviction over the 3.5 years I did in prison. I filed a civil suit in Newfoundland. Well, I'm not going to trust the court system here. Now, in my civil suit, I happen to name 8 judges, 6 police officers, 2 Crown prosecutors, a correctional investigator, and the warden of Spring Hill Correctional Facility, and 2 parole officers as well. That was a starting point. Now, unfortunately, Tim Allen, during one of his interviews during a podcast, sort of let the cat out of the bag a little early on me. So next thing I know, I'm being arrested again. Well, if they had been able to keep me in custody long enough, it would have killed my civil suit. The time would elapse. Now, personally, I think that's the actual reason behind my arrest. Well, I got a Supreme Court judge already acknowledging Phoenix Tears as on what we're doing. I'm not a member of the drug trade. I'm not a drug dealer. I make medicine to cure cancer patients. Plain and simple. Now, my honest question is, how can that be a crime? Where's the intent? Was it mens rea? Guilty mind? Yeah. Geez, am I guilty? Do I get a guilty conscience because a pharmaceutical company is losing billions from poisoning people? No. No, I think the public should be able to make an informed decision, an informed choice. Hey, do you want to suck back a little bit of mustard gas left over from the First World War? Go for it. You want to try medicine that works? Make an informed decision. It's pretty simple. But the option should be there for the patients to decide.
And I've seen it work. I mean, I'm intimately involved in all this.
Well, yeah.
Both as a filmmaker and as a patient, and even as
even as a witness to people that have been cured, Chris. You've seen it. Right? You've been around, 9 years into this, following the story? You got a lot of time into it.
9 years. 9 years. And, but we've come a long way and we haven't. Like here, we're on the verge of legalization.
Well, hang on a second.
But yeah, they're still trying to put people like you in prison. That's what I'm getting at.
Well, okay, what I get a kick out of, look at the word legalize. Break it down. It's legal lies. Plain and simple. Who's what? Wrote by the politicians. Politics. Poly is Latin for more than one. Tick's a blood-sucking parasite. Why is it everything they put on paper, every order they're given has to be followed to the letter?
Did you do this? I can't log you in.
You know what I mean? To me, it's people spend too much time following orders from these professionals or experts that haven't got 2 clues.
Well, one of the only reasons I stayed in this, because I did, unfortunately, there's a lot of corruption even in Like, it's just human nature, like the way people are.
Right.
But it's really, I gotta say, it's you, the integrity that I've seen that kept me involved, and having to talk to you all those years in jail, knowing you shouldn't be, not jail, prison, knowing you shouldn't be there in the first place. And,
well, the thing, yeah, but Chris, I was actually, sadly to say, it wasn't the best laid plans in the world, but it was part of my plans.
Hello.
The way I understood the law, in order to get that abusive process hearing, I needed a conviction. Right? So I had no problem with that. Now, during the, I got the conviction. During the abusive process hearing is where I got to put forward the evidence that the cops had framed Rick. That was my pot they stole out of my garden, put in the duffel bags, and carried into his house. That bothered me. Now, my thought was, once I proved that, well, yeah, I'm going to go to Spring Hill. I'll land in reception. Within a month, I got my appeal file. I'll be before the Court of Appeals, prove it's a wrongful conviction. Well, what I didn't realize is on the way into Spring Hill Prison, you use the words wrongfully convicted. So that means automatically across your file, attitude problem. And then it became the disclosure issue. They wouldn't give me my transcripts. They withheld things. They misplaced stuff. It was just a friggin' nightmare. Now, I still claim, I got assaulted in there. I had my shoulder dislocated for me by staff, not other prisoners. Now, I even asked the warden, why? Is it because of my political views or because I maintain I'm wrongfully convicted? I never did get an answer. Now, the only reason they kept me in Spring Hill, which is a high medium security rather than a minimum security, is because of my political views. And I got that in writing, signed by the warden. He overruled my security clearance.
Yeah.
I'm a dangerous offender. Oh my God. I haven't been accused of slapping a dog yet.
This is right. That's what I'm just trying to pull something up here on YouTube. And the video I had made about you all those years ago is Canada's new oilman. I will be changing that though, because the reason why is because I named the one about Rick Simpson, Healing Cancer with Cannabis, the Rick Simpson story. Well, the way I kind of see it more now is Healing Cancer with Cannabis, the Daren story, Healing Cancer with Cannabis, the Alan John story. You know what I mean? Like it's
actually,
like a series.
The story I'm trying to get out there is not so much the message anymore. We got that out. Rick did. He did an awesome job. Right? Here's a cure for cancer. The story I want to tell is what happened to the poor bastards that brought that message forward and how we've been treated.
Well, that's what I'm after here too.
And that's stuff you've seen firsthand. I think you were in court when they hauled my ass away for 3.5 years.
Well, I wasn't actually, but I remember being that's what happened actually. I heard news of that, and I had that footage that we shot that night, and I don't even really remember editing it. Like I do, but like I was just, that was all I could do. There was not, I felt hopeless because I didn't think that was going to really come to fruition. Like, I was kept saying me away, but I was like, well, no, you can't be. But
when you were making that film in my house here, I can remember me joking, saying, look, I'm going to take a vacation. You thought there's no way possible.
It's right in the video. Yeah, I really didn't. Like,
Yeah, well, the thing is, I knew I had to. It was the only way I could the only way I knew to clear Rick and to prove that they had framed him. And geez, that's been eating at me for years. Hey, Rick's he's a grown boy, yes. He's he does his thing, yes. I backed him, supported him. The problem I had was the fact they used my material to frame him. That's what was eating at me. They knew it was my garden.
Well, at the end, what they said? They said it was just compost that they dug up in his backyard. Or that's what Rick said. Yes,
but okay. Yourself, I've been growing pot for a little while, right? Now, geez, at the end of the year, I clean my weed. Now, I got the material I make the oil from, Phoenix Tears, that's the bud. Everything else ends up in the compost pile. Now you pile 35 pounds of weed into a compost bin and leave it for a couple months. What do you got?
Yeah.
Now they did hit the raid on his place in November. When did he leave for Europe? Wasn't it the end of September?
I think it was, yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly when he left for Europe because
No. But I can guarantee it was 4 to 6 weeks. Now you take 35 pounds of cannabis. I want anyone to do this. Try it. Put it out in your yard in a compost bin and leave it for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Tell me what you have.
Rick went to Europe exactly pretty much the same time that I found out I was going to be a father.
Yeah.
So for like 2 years, it just kind of, you know.
Well, the thing is, they raided one of my gardens. I cooked down the rest, and I thought it was safer for my ass to get the hell out of the country. I was down in Kentucky when the news broke.
Right. And he was at the Cannabis Cup.
Yeah. Oh, and geez, the first I heard of it, the first time I ever seen that video put by Mike Simpson up, the raid on Rick Simpson Exposed, I remember I was talking to Mary and said, geez, that's my pot. I knew it right then and there.
Yeah, I put it in my phone too, the YouTube video Mike put up. Because I thought that was shocking. I mean, you are watching something that, you know, and they wouldn't even own up to it. None of the police stations would own up to it.
Well, they didn't want to own up to being there because they knew they were wrong. Well, geez, if there's people knowing they were there, geez, where'd the weed come from that they found? Now, was Rick being the man he was? Geez, do you think he's going to leave the country for this big extended tour and leave 35 pounds of weed sitting in his hallway?
Right.
Let's apply a little common sense here.
Yeah.
You know, I bet you if I went through his house the day after he left.
And they took all the cameras.
Yeah, well, they missed one.
They missed one.
But the point, yeah, where is it in their search warrants where they're authorized to steal someone's home security system?
Yeah.
Now, isn't that just outright theft?
Yeah, but I've seen it so much now being involved in this. Like, you know, I wanted to believe that I lived in Canada was this, you know, that we have it right. And, you know, for the most part, and people ought to listen to Canada, because we're an example.
Of a free country.
No. Like, so no. The corruption I've seen, the things I've seen, the people I've seen suffer, the way I've seen them be attacked. Like look at poor Rick Dwyer right now. Like,
yeah, well, the thing is, all Rick Dwyer ever was, as far as I'm concerned, and I imagine you get the same story from any member of the group, he was an official witness. He didn't grow pot. He didn't handle pot. He didn't make oil. He didn't distribute oil. We did.
mm-hmm.
All he was someone who knew these people were dying, and all of a sudden they're cancer-free.
And he was the president of the Legion there.
Yeah.
Or was it president? He was high up.
He was president of the McCann Legion Hall.
Yeah. Because he had done a number of things regarding McCann Legion. He also was a treasurer and secretary and like different things. I hope I got that right there, but I'm pretty sure those are the two that he mentioned.
Well, the thing is, it was the Legionnaires that Rick Simpson was curing that Rick Dwyer's seen. These old veterans. Now, yeah, they're old from the Second World War, some of them. Well, they're coming down with cancer. Well, they're in that right age group. Now, Rick starts curing them, and Rick sees it right in front of his eyes.
Dwyer, yeah.
Yeah, Rick Dwyer watched him. Well, his own father was cured of lung cancer.
Mm-hmm.
How can you deny it at that point? Now,
when you see it with your own eyes, I mean, it's like Rick Dwyer said. He's like, you know, he says, I'm not a doctor, you know, but I can see
skin cancer
going away. So it was the oil, or Rick Simpson had some kind of magical powers, and he was like, oh no, it's the oil, right?
Well, his own father was in the Amherst hospital dying. They give him less than a week to live.
Yeah.
Now, I bumped into him after that 7 years later. That was just before I went to Kentucky. Well, Mary Spears had asked me if there was any side effects, and I was going to be treating Mary for lung cancer. Well, geez, Rick was the one always providing, not me. He dealt with the people, not the patients, not me. I'm just a grower. So, of course, when Rick Dwyer asked me, you know, well, I seen Rick Dwyer there. I walk up to his car. He says, 7 years ago, they gave me 7 days to live. That's how I knew who he was. Well, when I asked him about the side effects, what are the side effects of this treatment? He scratches his chin. There was a couple. Yeah, what's that? Well, I had to get new glasses. My glaucoma went away. Now, that was now the second side effect he reported. He used to be a diabetic. He hadn't touched the needle then in 7 years.
Yeah, you hear that too.
Now, he used to take between 3 and 4 shots of insulin a day. And all of a sudden, he's telling me, well, I haven't touched a needle in 7 years. What do you say to that? Bonus, Yeah, I'm glad there's such nasty side effects as compared to chemo.
I know that I was in Nova Scotia talking to another healer, and just the amount of stories and the pride, like when you're doing good and you're helping people out. And I felt it.
Yeah, the thing is,
I'm going to say that you guys have a special thing that, because I found that the burden of sick people and the ungratefulness in general of people, like they'll beg you for the oil, they'll beg you for it, but the second they got it, where were they at your trial? Where were they at your hearing? You want to have legions of people showing up.
No, well, hang on, Chris, though. The thing is, I've been a little different than some of the other ones in the group. For the most part, once they're better, it's fuck off, stay away from me, get out of my life. Now, the reason I've done that is I know who I am. I know the way the cops watch me. They're coming after me. I know. I don't want a patient getting busted. Whether they're starting the treatment, halfway through, or finish the treatment. I don't want the cop kicking their doors in. And as you know, that's happened in the past. Patients have been arrested.
Yeah.
Cancer patients.
Yeah, one particular story that got me, and this was a healer who, I want to get the story right, but the long and short of it was, his friend had lent him a couple of guns that he needed. One was for bears, and one was for, there was a couple of reasons. And when they came to his house and raided him, they found the guns, and they were registered to his friend who had lent them to him. And so they went to his friend's house, and his friend had cancer. It was like anal cancer, like right on his
prostate. And
they went right in his bathroom while he was putting it on, and he was like, "Boys, you're gonna have to wait. Like, I'm treating my cancer here."
They don't care.
Medicine. They took it from him, and he had to go to court, fight the cancer while still dealing with bullshit of going to court for the medicine that he was using that was healing him. And he's fine now. I saw it. I didn't even recognize him. A few years later, I saw him, man, strapped, guy, muscles, everything. And when I met him, he was like,
as I said, even though I'm a healer, I still got to protect the patients. You know what I mean? There's why I don't have a list. Yeah, I have patient lists. They're all up here. I don't write no one's name down.
Well,
and if I do have something with me,
tough, man, because I couldn't do it. I guess different people are meant for different things, and I love helping people. I really do. But when they start coming at you like you're a well, with no end, it's, it was a lot. It was a lot of pressure. And these people are a lot of time. And what's frustrating too is they come as a thast resort.
Yeah.
They've already gone.
Failed.
To the point the doctor's saying, "Look, we won't even give you any more chemo. Like, go home and die." And then they want the cannabis oil.
Yeah.
And even though you watch them greatly improve, a lot of times they don't make it at that point, And that's a little hard to watch too.
It is. Well, losing any of them is hard to watch. And there's no joke. I've lost patients over the years, a lot of them. I've often said, I got a 90% success rate. It's that 10% you lose, you remember.
Yeah.
They get to you.
Yeah,
and it's not the cancer that's killing them. Out of the ones I lost, it wasn't the fucking cancer that killed them. It was that goddamn chemo or radiation treatment.
Right. And I'm thinking of the first lady who ever contacted me, and she got on it. And amazing thing, she, again, the doctor said no more chemo for you. Like you're done. She had like tubes going into her for whatever. Like was it into her kidney or something like that, or some organ, and it got infected.
Yeah.
So she goes to the hospital, and the doctor. I remember her husband was really pissed about this because he had no bedside manner. He was like, "Look, you got 2 hours, 2 weeks, but you're not walking out of here. We don't have, that's a super bug, and we don't have an antibiotic to defeat it, to kill it." And so that was it. You're done. And a few days later, it went away because of the oil.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the doctor, like, he was more upset than anything. That can't happen, and this is impossible. He was more upset that he was wrong than the fact that she got to walk out of there. You think he'd be happy, but
one of the patients I lost here just a while ago was an infant. Right? Now they're the ones that get to me bad. But anyway, they tried at the hospital repeatedly to get a sample of the oil that was being given to this child. Now the caregiver wouldn't hand it over. I mean, to the point where we did, like I say, the child died. Now the parents were grateful that how'd they put it? He died in peace. Right? The oil had broke his brain fever, but it was just too little too late, if you know what I mean. But now the caregiver basically held the child's body until the morticians come and took it. The doctors wanted the kid's body basically to do a test on what it was we were giving them.
My mother, three spots of skin, based on how do you say it again? Based on melatonin?
Yeah, it's skin cancer, I call it.
It's the same one Rick had, anyway.
Yeah.
And she had it. She had a spot in her forehead. She had one here, and another one I can't remember.
Yep. So
she trusted the doctor the first time, so she went and got it cut out, and but filled it in with oil.
Yeah.
And all the skin grew back. Like, if you've ever seen somebody go through this, because unfortunately my son's mother's mother went through the same thing. So my son's grandmother, and she had it here, and there's a hole there. You know what I mean? Like so, and her glasses kind of covered it so that it doesn't show that much. But mom's completely filled in. Like, it was like, whoa. So of course then she started putting it on the other ones, and this one busted like a zit, and the other one just went away.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. Well, geez, I've cured, let me think, 1, 2, 3.
And you know what she said? I had to set her straight, because she's like, that's from all the years when I was young that I didn't use sunscreen. I was like, no, Mom. This is from all the years since you were young that you were using sunscreen. That's what gave you the cancer, in my opinion.
Oh, without a doubt. Well, Grace, when you look at it, okay, I remember back in the 50s, for example, right? Well, you still there?
Yep.
Okay, well, back in the 50s, they went on this big rant about cigarettes causing cancer, lung cancer. Okay, cool. Well, today, you got half the amount of people smoking that they had back in the 50s, but yet the lung cancer rate is tripled.
Yeah. You know what, Darren? I noticed that the screen just froze up on your end. Like, you're just like a frozen picture. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to...
Yeah, I lost the...
I'm going to stop recording and check out if it actually did stop, like if you're frozen on the screen only, or if it's actually stopped the recording. And then I'm going to call you back, and when I put this up, I'll just put this as part 1, and then we'll put the other as part 2. Is that cool? I'll give you a call back. Hello?
Yeah. It's something I touched here, and the screen turned white, and I can't get the picture back. Yes. Okay.
Okay, I'll call you back.